In the video you're about to watch, we're going to talk about the darker side of football and tell the story of Jeremy. This one ended very sad and changed the way that Manchester City Football Club released their players and the aftercare that's given as well. Jeremy actually moved to the UK with his family as a baby in 2003, initially settled in Trafford, Greater Manchester before moving to Withenshaw 3 years prior to his passing. Started playing football in these early years, and in primary school his talent stood out. He later attended Wellington School. He played for grassroots teams like Juniors FC and for 7 years at De La Salle FC in Salford, showing promise as a versatile defender. At 13 years old, Jeremy joined Manchester City's elite development squad after impressing during a lengthy trial. He transferred to St Beebe's College, a private school affiliated with Manchester City, which offered a fully funded program for academy players. As a two-footed centre-back, he could play anywhere in defence. Jeremy idolised Manchester City legend Vincent Kompany. Things were going well until January 2018. Jeremy suffered a serious knee ligament injury while playing for Manchester City's academy, sidelined him for 5 months. The injury caused excruciating pain and halted his development as he couldn't progress at the same rate as his peers. Despite the injury, Manchester City's academy director Jason Wilcox stated it had no impact on the decision to later release it.
Albeit it's a lot better now, nonetheless, it's still a very, very brutal system, and you're seeing thousands of kids being dropped left, right, centre and not knowing what to do because their identity as a footballer is no longer there. And unfortunately, we hear of sad stories like the likes of Jeremy Winsten, who I didn't know personally, but numerous amounts of my friends knew him and were quite close to him. And if you know the travesty of that story, then you know the academy system is truly brutal, and that really sent shockwaves across the whole academy front line.
December 2018, Manchester City informed Jeremy, then 16, that he would not be offered a scholarship and would be released at the end of the 2018-19 season. June 2019, the early notification was intended to give him time to find a new club. The club arranged 9 trials with professional clubs like Bolton, Cardiff, and provided video footage of Jeremy playing, though his father claimed the footage was when Jeremy was recovering from his injury and it wasn't representing his true ability. His father also stated that Manchester City promised to arrange matches for scouts to watch Jeremy but failed to follow through, leaving Jeremy feeling let down by the club. Mental health screenings by Manchester City's sports psychologists conducted before and after the release decision raised no concerns about Jeremy's well-being. So June 2019, Jeremy's contract with Manchester City expired. He was officially released. Unable to secure a new club, he stopped playing football entirely. His father noted that Jeremy's lack of recent playing time due to injury made trials with other clubs challenging. He actually decided to take up a job at JD Sports in Manchester's shopping centre. Former Manchester City Academy coach Mark Rees invited Jeremy to train at the Strong Hearts Foundation, an organisation aimed at helping young adults return to football. Jeremy attended a few sessions but reportedly lost interest in playing, possibly due to feeling he had been taken away from the game too long or because the others were still with clubs. Jeremy actually then applies for universities in Manchester to study forensic science, planning to pursue higher education. But due to COVID-19 restrictions in England, Jeremy was unable to see friends, which may have contributed to feelings of isolation, though his family reported no evident signs of mental health struggle. And we see around the country in the UK that many people dealt with COVID differently. Me personally, I enjoyed the alone time and working on a lot of projects by myself, but other people missed being around friends. Other people just didn't even comply with the rules and were still going out doing what they wanted. Even the Prime Minister in the UK was. How was you guys dealing with COVID? Some people, it just didn't suit their lifestyle. They always want to be out doing things. October 24th, 2020, Jeremy is found unresponsive by his mother Grace in his sister's bedroom at their family home in Withenshaw around 9 PM after not coming down for dinner. Paramedics pronounced him dead at the scene. A report found traces of benzodiazepine suggesting recreational use, but no other substances were found. His family, including his parents and 2 sisters aged 20 and 27, expressed shock, stating there was no evidence Jeremy had been struggling mentally in the days leading up to his death. His father emphasised Jeremy was always happy and did not believe he intended to take his own life. The following day, Manchester City announced Jeremy's passing on social media, expressing their condolences. The Manchester City family are saddened to learn of the passing of former academy player Jeremy Winsten. We send our deepest condolences to his friends and family. Our thoughts are with you at this difficult time. Senior players like Raheem Sterling, Vincent Kompany paid tribute. Kompany tweeted, "Very saddened to hear about the passing of Jeremy. My thoughts are with his family and friends. This is truly devastating. Rest in peace, Jeremy." Jeremy. Former academy teammates including Tommy Doyle, Liam Delap shared heartfelt messages. Doyle wrote on his Instagram, "So sad, rest in peace brother." A GoFundMe page was set up by a family friend to support Jeremy's family, raising nearly £10,000 with donations from Manchester City's former youth players. Another former academy teammate, Cole Palmer, a close friend, made his Champions League debut for Manchester City in a 3-0 win over Marseille. He came on for Kevin De Bruyne in the final 10 minutes and dedicated the performance to Jeremy, posting on Instagram, "You'll forever be missed," with pictures and videos of them together, adding, "Fly high brother, rest in peace." Also that same month, Manchester City's under-18s team wore warm-up tops with Jeremy's photo during their FA Cup semi-final against Blackburn Rovers at St George's Park. There was a minute silence and the team won 4-0 with players like Liam Delap and Cole Palmer that actually both played together at Chelsea now involved. Players donated to the crowdfunding campaign for Jeremy. November 9th, 2021, we get an inquest into the death in Manchester led by coroner Zach concluded that Jeremy had died by suicide on the balance of probabilities. An inquest raised questions about whether Manchester City provided enough support post-release. His father criticised the club for not helping Jeremy find an agent or arranging promised matches for scouts. The coroner added that Jeremy was very much a loved individual and encouraged family to cherish happy moments. Jeremy's college friends described him as intelligent, funny and hard-working with positive energy. Football is one of them things, it's an all-in career move. When you're young, especially, you got to put the hours in from 6, 7 nowadays and get your ability right to even get noticed. And once you're in the ranks, you may think that it's going to last forever, but you can be dropped at any point. It's really harsh. A lot of people always feel lost after. There's many people that have spoken out how they just couldn't adapt or find anything new to do. They've put everything in for their whole life in football, and when it doesn't work out, people feel hopeless. But in life, sometimes if you give it time, things always work out for the right reason. Mental health is becoming a massive thing in football because there's big highs and also big lows.
And that's even why I created Beyond Football, because hearing stories, especially the one of Jeremy Winsten. Jeremy is a player who I grew up playing against when he was at Man City and when I was at Chelsea. And he was released at under 16 level by Manchester City. But after not finding a club, after a couple of months, he found it difficult. It's an experience that a lot of players find themselves in. But Jeremy ended up committing suicide and taking his own life. So that's what drives me. Those are the different things that makes me so passionate about Beyond Football and what we want to do to help players. Because it's not only beneficial to have an identity beyond football, but it's possible and it's so necessary for your entire well-being.
He's left a legacy as Manchester City reviewed their player release process in following Jeremy's death. They introduced player exit surveys and a parent portal to improve communications with players and families. Academy director Jason Wilcox spoke about how they're trying to improve the process. Jeremy's death, alongside another player called Josh Lyons 2013, another player called Matthew Langton in 2021, reunited discussions about mental health in football, particularly for young players released from academies. Another former player who attempted taking his own life called for better support in the industry. Dolan dedicated his goals at Blackburn Rovers to Jeremy, saying, "Every single time I step on the pitch, it's for him and his family because I want to make them proud."
Yeah, when I found out the news about Jeremy, I remember it was crazy. I woke up that morning and I actually said to my mum, I went down to the kitchen and it was a nice day outside. I said to my mum, "It's a nice day today, innit?" She was like, yeah, it's a nice day. And then I'd not even picked up my phone by that point. I looked at my phone. My phone had loads of messages, and then I had a message from his mum, and I got on the phone to his mum and kind of like, I remember being in my back garden by that point. His mum was so strong on the phone, like obviously like she was breaking down, but she told me that like, "I just want to thank you for being his best friend." She said that he would all the time take me to ties out, all the time his mum couldn't drop him on mine, and she just thanked me like for just being there for him. And I remember just dropping to my knees on the phone and then, just heartbroken, man, in tears, like, in tears, man. But, just broke me. And just didn't expect it, like the last thing on this earth I'd expect, because he was the happiest one. And it seems crazy to say that because they think, how can someone who had taken her own life be the happiest one? But on the outside, that's really what bro was. He was the happiest character. Like, he'd be the life of the party.
Jeremy's parents called for increased mental health support in football and education systems, emphasising the need for aftercare for released players. Players like Cole Palmer and Liam Delap, it was seeming like they was going to break into the first team and be a big part of Manchester City, but they've made it now at other clubs. They recently reunited at Chelsea and they were part of that same youth academy. Sometimes in football there's still a chance, you just got to build back up to it, and injuries can be catastrophic in ruining careers.